What is up, X Factor Nation? Welcome back to an NFL edition video. Just your boy today, just Fred, on the mic, spitting some game about the NFL. A super, just loaded pause NFL week with the trade deadline looming. A lot of big names traded. We'll go through the games as well, but I want to start with a little bit of trade deadline talk. So the first trade, the Ravens got Roquan Smith in exchange. The Bears got back AJ Klein, a linebacker, a 2023 second, a 2023 fifth. I mean, Roquan Smith, one of the best young Mike linebackers in the league. I think pairing him next to Patrick Queen and that already stout defense that you always have out in Baltimore. I thought this was a big move for them. Roquan Smith, it didn't really seem like he wanted to be in Chicago. He's been having a great year. He's been playing his tail off, but at the beginning of the year, they talked about even moving him sooner than this. So I'm not surprised. Next move involves Minnesota Vikings trading to get TJ Hawkinson from the Detroit Lions. They got TJ Hawkinson, a 2023 fourth and a 2024 conditional fourth round pick. And the Lions got back a 2023 second and a 2024 third round pick. I mean, TJ Hawkinson, one of the best young tight ends in the league. Interdivisional trade, don't see it a lot. So it was kind of surprising to see him go to the Vikings, but gives Kirk Cousins in that offense just another weapon. And it's going to be, a great system out there with Jay Jettas, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and now TJ Hawkinson. So, and, for the Lions, I guess they didn't really feel a need to re-sign him to a long-term deal, get a second-round pick out of it, still rebuilding out there in Detroit, unfortunately. So next trade involves my Pittsburgh Steelers. We traded Chase Claypool to the Bears in exchange for a 2023 second round pick. I'm okay with it. A lot of people ask me how I felt about it. I mean, you got the exchange for a second round pick, which I thought we couldn't get a pick that high for him. We drafted him a couple years ago in the second, and I think that pick will be valuable. It looks like they just really see a future with George Pickens and Deontay moving forward. And they really like the kid Calvin Austin, a kid that we picked, I believe, in the fourth round out of Memphis, who has yet to play due to injury. So, for a while, I think Steven Sims will probably be wide receiver 3, but for now, it's Deontay in George's room. So super excited for that. And then the Bears obviously get a much needed receiver in that really thin receiver room. So next trade, another one for the Steelers. We received cornerback William Jackson III and a 2025 conditional seventh. And the Commanders received a 2025 conditional sixth-round pick. So William Jackson, veteran corner. That corner room out in Pittsburgh is really weak. Not afraid to admit that our secondary has been really bad this year. So any help we can get. Next one, another big trade. The Dolphins making a move to get Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos. So Miami received Bradley Chubb in a 2025 fifth, and Denver receives veteran running back Chase Edmonds, a 2023 first, and a 2024 fourth. So, didn't really seem like Bradley wanted to be there. Denver, who has struggled this year, especially offensively. Bradley Chubb has been a really, prominent pass rusher for them, and I think he's going to do great. Outside Jalen Phillips or opposite Jalen Phillips in that pass rush out there in Miami. So I thought this was a home run move. Dolphins continue to get better. Already has that high power offense. Now they're trying to build a stout defense. Next trade involves a suspended player. The Jacksonville Jaguars acquired wide receiver Calvin Ridley from the Atlanta Falcons. And Atlanta got back a 2023 fifth and a 2024 second. So we all know what Calvin Ridley can do. He had his gambling suspension. So pretty surprised. You don't really see a lot of suspended players get traded like that. But Jacksonville gets a wide receiver 1 out there, and Christian Kirk's looked really good. Evan Ingram's looked good. They just needed to add another guy. They have Zay Jones and Jamal Agnew, but Jamal Agnew is more of a special teams guy. So really, I think their wide receiver room gets a ton better. Can't wait to see how that works next year. We got the next trade. We have Miami Dolphins receiving running back Jeff Wilson, who's looked really good for the 49ers this year with Elijah Mitchell's injury. And then, of course, them bringing in CMC. There was really no use for Jeff Wilson once Elijah Mitchell comes back. San Francisco just got a 2023 fifth. So nice little trade there. I think it'll probably be Mostert and Jeff Wilson out there in Miami. Jeff Wilson, like I said, has looked really good. So I thought that was a nice little pickup. Next trade, Denver Broncos and New York Jets. Denver received defensive end Jacob Martin in 2020 2024 fifth-round pick from the Jets, and New York received a 2024 fourth. Just unloading, just a defensive line depth out there. New York, they're pretty stacked out there on the defensive line. So just really no need to keep Jacob Martin around. And Denver just gets a 3-4 defensive end that could fit really well in their system. Next trade, we got two running backs getting traded. Nyheim Hines going to Buffalo. The scat back from Indianapolis. And Indianapolis received young running back Zach Moss in a 2023 fifth. Nyheim Hines, he can do it all. I think Josh Allen could definitely find a way to get him the football, and him and Devin Singletary would be a nice little 1-2 punch. And you add in the rookie James Cook, Florida State. So it's going to be not Florida State, Georgia. Sorry, his brother Dalvin, who looks identical. But so a lot of fun little trade there. Another trade, Atlanta Falcons getting a corner in Rashard Fenton, and then Kansas City getting a 2023 seventh. Not really a flashy trade there. And the last trade of the very full trade deadline day, and that was November 1st, Dean Marlowe, safety from Atlanta, going to Buffalo in exchange for a 7th-round pick. So just some guys, you got some flashy trades, and you also have just some depth pickups. So very eventful. Now we get on to the Sunday slate, the football slate, starting with Thursday Night Football. We got the Eagles. We have the Texans. Eagles stay perfect, in my opinion, here. They've looked so good. Jalen Hurts has been lights out, and that defense continues to impress. So I don't see them dropping this game. Texans are in an all-out rebuild. My two co-hosts also picked the Eagles to win this game. Jalen Hurts, like I said, has been lights out, and that running offense with Miles Sanders, even and A.J. Brown being their wide receiver one, just unstoppable, and I think they stay undefeated here. Moving on to the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, we got the Chargers versus the Falcons. Chargers, not a big fan of that team. I thought Justin Herbert's looked above average this year. Austin Eckler's been okay. Mike Williams been okay. And the surprising Atlanta Falcons, man, taking over the South right now. The NFC South leader, Marcus Mariota's done just enough, I think, to really get them going. Their defense will look good, and then Kyle Pitts hopefully coming along for them. It would be huge for them. So I'm actually going to take Atlanta here at home to beat the Chargers, and it looks like Caleb picked the Chargers, and so did Troy. So I'm going to be the odd man out here. Next game, Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. I think the Dolphins run all over them. I think this is a high-scoring game for the Dolphins, and I think they absolutely pound the Bears. Just that Bears offense is just enough. I know they played really well against New England last week, but I just don't think they can keep up with how Tua and that offense is playing. And now you add a guy like Bradley Chubb on that defense. I think the Dolphins are going to make a really nice little run to the playoffs, and I think they win this game as well. My co-hosts also both picked the Dolphins. So next game, we got Carolina Panthers going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals coming off a tough loss, man. They looked really bad against Cleveland. That run defense is definitely a problem out there in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow didn't look too hot without, minus Jamar Chase. Obviously every time you're missing a top 5 receiver in the league, it's going to be rough. But I think they get going again this week, and I think they get T. Higgins a lot of touches. Joe Mixon gets going. I think they beat a pretty fun P.J. Walker and Dante Foreman. Led Carolina Panthers team, and DJ Moore hopefully keeps his helmet on this week. But I'm going to go Bengals here at home, and my two co-hosts also both pick the Bengals. So moving right along, we have the Green Bay Packers against the Detroit Lions. Packers, that offense is rough. That passing game, don't have a lot of receivers out there for Aaron to throw to. They definitely should have made a move for somebody. I'm surprised they weren't the one to make the move for Claypool. And then for the Detroit Lions, man, their defense just gets they're Swiss cheese out there, man. And it's rough for them to get going on defense, and that offense, as well as their running games look, not having DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams looked good, but that passing game, Jared Goff is way too inconsistent. So I'm going to go Green Bay here. Caleb also went with Green Bay, and then Troy went with the Lions to get the upset at home. Definitely wouldn't be surprised if that happened, though. Next, moving along, we have the Las Vegas Raiders going on the road to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville, man, Travis Etienne looks great. Trevor Lawrence has been fairly decent this year, not really setting the world on fire. And then the Raiders side, definitely disappointing. I thought they would have a much better year. Got to get Devontae Adams the ball this week, and I think they do win on the road. Jaguars, man, they're in every game. It feels like they lose by just a score every game, but you got to be able to close in the NFL, and I think Las Vegas does that this week. And Troy went with the Jags, and my man Caleb went with the Raiders. Next 1 o'clock game, the weirdly talented New England Patriots quarterback controversy. Mac Jones looked terrible this year. That defense, Matthew Judon. If you don't know who that is the edge rusher out there in New England. If you haven't watched that man play football, do yourself a favor and watch him play. The Colts definitely disappointed. I mean, on paper, coming into the year, they look like one of the top teams, especially, in my opinion, the favorite to win their division. Just hasn't been that this year. I'm going to go New England on the road. Jonathan Taylor's been lackluster and beat up this year. Troy also went the Patriots, and Caleb as well. Moving on, we got the red hot Buffalo Bills, my Super Bowl, favorite right now, in my opinion, taking on the New York Jets. I think losing Breece Hall is going to be a big deal for them, and I think they're definitely going to take a tumble. And I just think the Bills are too much. I mean, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, Isaiah McKenzie, Devin Singletary, adding Naheem Hines, and that defense is lights out as well. I think they really get to Zach Wilson, who's looked really bad this year. So I am going to take the Bills to win that game, and both my co-hosts do as well. Last 1 o'clock game, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who look incredible this year, who just added TJ Hawkinson. Dalvin Cook looks great. Justin Jefferson is awesome. Going on the road to take on the pesky Washington Commanders. Terry McLaurin looks good. That offense, with Taylor Heinicke looking pretty decent. I am going to go Vikings here. This is actually Troy's upset. He's going to take the Commanders to beat the Vikings, but Caleb also takes the Vikings as well. On to the 4 o'clock slate. We got the Geno Smith, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the West Virginia great to you. Geno Smith led Seahawks, the 5-3. No one thought it. Going on the road against Arizona. I don't like Arizona. DeAndre Hopkins looks great, but man, I got to see something else out of that team. I'm going to go Seattle until Arizona can, prove something to me. I just can't pick them. Troy went with the Cards, and Caleb went with the Seahawks. Moving on, we have probably two of the most disappointing teams in the NFL taking off this week. It's actually going to be my game of the week, just because I have to see who can be more mediocre. Is it going to be Matt Stafford and the Rams, or Tom Brady and the Bucks? And I think it's going to be Matt Stafford and the Bucks. I think they take this one at home. The Rams, man, are just struggling, dude. I don't know what happened to that team. I don't know if it's age catching up to them or what. Matt Stafford's looked really bad. They can't get a running game going. It's Cooper Kupp's world. We're just living in it. And then on Tom's side, man, it's not like he's making, he's not turning over the football, but it's just he's not making throws. They're not really getting Leonard going, but I do think they take this one at home. Again, really just lackluster football on both sides. Troy went with the Bucks, and Caleb went with the Rams. That was it for the 4 o'clock game. A lot of bye weeks. I think 6 teams on bye weeks this week. So quick slate for you guys. Next up, we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Tennessee really surprising me at 5-2. I think Derrick Henry's looked awesome as always. Ryan Tannehill, in my opinion, just does enough. He's kind of like one of those guys that just does enough to get you a win. Defense has played really well, but I think the Chiefs are too much here on Sunday Night Football. I think it's going to be a good Sunday night game. I think it's going to be close. I really like the Chiefs and what they have done and how they've looked, but I just think they just overwhelmed the Titans, and the Titans, as well, they played this year. Just, again, Kansas City is just one of those teams, man. So I think all three of us pick the Chiefs. And moving on to the last game, Monday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens taking on the New Orleans Saints. That Saints defense, coming into the year, I thought they'd be a lot better than they have. Sitting at 3-5 without a definite quarterback is definitely tough for them. I am liking seeing Alvin Kamara get going, and Chris Olave, man. Wow, home run pick for them. He looks awesome. Lamar's looked great, though, on the Ravens side. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, in my opinion. I think Lamar goes crazy. I can't wait to see what Roquan Smith looks like once he gets that playbook down and gets situated with that defense. So I'm going to go Baltimore here. I think they become the division favorites after that trade. In my opinion, Cincinnati coming into the year was my pick to win that division, but I think Baltimore just is really good. Always well coached. Troy going with the Saints and Caleb going with the Ravens. So that is it for the NFL slate. A little bit quicker video for the NFL, just of course it's by myself, so not a lot of back and forth, but I'm super excited for this week of football. My Steelers on a bye, not looking great, but we're going to continue to build. Got to be next time. Got to change the game. But yeah, guys, don't forget to start watching some of these NBA content videos. We have a ton of NBA. If you like the National Basketball Association, Got to check it out. We have a daily show every day breaking down last night's games and then breaking down today's games as they come out. So make sure you all check those out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment any questions, or if y'all just want to talk some bull jive, we'll get into it. But yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like it up. Troy, Caleb, miss you guys. Can't wait to see you guys on the next one. But yeah, don't be a star. Don't be a superstar. Be an X Factor. Change the game. God bless. And peace out.